I found that when I started to go out, uh, people, the general public, who are very rushy and teary, would come at me, and I felt very vulnerable all the time. And I would perhaps not want to go out because, in case somebody, I'm conscious all the time of falling. I might be pushed, I might trip, I might fall, and it will all happen again.
Why is this a psychiatric disorder? It doesn't sound much like it to me.
Before hearing more about this case, we need to detour a little into what psychotherapy is.
I think psychotherapy is an opportunity for people to have a space where they can hopefully feel safe. That should happen automatically in the context of the relationship. For them to be able to talk about and explore whatever the issues they have. And the therapist should be of a level where they're competent enough to be able to help that patient work through whatever issues they are working through. It should be a collaborative relationship. It is not the therapist's although the therapist is the person who has the expertise. The patient is the person who knows themselves. So it should be a collaborative relationship where really two heads are coming together and working together to sort something out in a way that enables the patient to overcome their problems and move on with their life.
So, that is the start. But we need just a little bit more about the different types of psychotherapy.
Broadly, they fall into, very crudely, they fall into two camps. So you've got what I would call the more solution-focused or brief therapies. I think one of the criticisms, and an example of that would be CBT-based or more solution-based therapies. I think a criticism of shorter solution-focused therapies is that they're sometimes focused around quite specific problems. They can be. It depends how they're used. But for example, there's a lot of evidence to suggest CBT is very effective for phobias and quite discrete solution-focused problems. Although it can be used more broadly than that. I think it depends on the skill of the therapist.
And what is the other type of psychotherapy?
Longer-term psychodynamic, psychoanalytic therapies are really working at a different level. They work at an emotional level. They are generally, as I say, by definition, they're longer term. And generally, I think it's fair to say that the aim is to, I was going to say have a broader long-term impact. That's not actually true. But I think there is evidence to suggest that they may be more effective for long-term deep emotional issues that relate back to childhood. The key features, definitely working at an emotional level. The issues are worked through in a different way. So the relationship between the therapist and the patient assumes far more importance. I think in psychotherapy, it's generally accepted that a lot of the problems that people face in later life, deep-rooted problems, stem from childhood.
I hope you were paying attention. But to recap.
So I would say stemming from childhood, deep-rooted and emotional level, and the therapeutic relationship becomes key. I think those are probably defining features of a psychodynamic or psychoanalytic approach as opposed to a solution-focused approach. From a solution-focused approach, I think the key features are they need to be, the problems need to be, it helps, I think, if there's a very well-defined goal for therapy.
Whilst we're here, we need a few words about anxiety.
Who? Me?
Yes, you, Anxie.
Anxiety often has a whole range of physical symptoms. So people who get very anxious tend to get classic symptoms of what I would call low-grade panic attack. So palpitations in the heart, butterflies in the stomach, sometimes a tingling sensations in your arms and legs, in your extremities from where the blood is flowing faster. Sometimes people talk about a slight nausea, and sometimes people talk about feeling slightly dizzy. Tightness of the chest and breathlessness are very strong features. And then it's all about the degree of these symptoms. I mean, these symptoms can be as subtler but at a sort of a chronic level, or they can be quite acute and quite sharp. The feelings that people describe when they're suffering from anxiety, out of control is a word that comes to mind. Tearful, irritable, and helpless, I think, is a word that comes to mind.
So, where were we? Ah, yes. What did Marion say her problems were?
The fears that I have are being a passenger in a car. I cannot be in the front seat of David driving me. I am frightened, terrified. I sit in the back to go anywhere, and that must be short distances. Escalators terrify me. I can go up them, but I cannot come down. And I had a panic attack during that, screaming in Marks and Spencer. And the third thing is the thought of flying and getting on an aircraft and actually going in the sky and being in a plane. I have this great fear of another accident, of falling again.
Before we finish chapter 1, let's hear what her therapist thinks.
I guess the most significant thing was that I think she was extremely well motivated and she did much of the work herself, and I was really just a guiding hand, I guess. That's what it felt like.
That all sounds far too easy to me. Find out more in chapter 2. Ta-da!